I moved on the only way I knew how, quietly, painfully, but forward. I studied, passed my exams, got my real estate license, started rebuilding a life that didn't depend on corporate approval or fake friendships. That's why when I got the invitation, I almost didn't go. A coworker's birthday party, a luxury apartment building downtown. My first instinct was to protect my peace, but something in me wanted closure. Not the talking it out kind, but the kind where you show up healed enough to sit in the same room as the people who watched you fall. So I went. Walking into that building felt like stepping into a version of my past I hadn't fully buried yet. The elevator ride alone almost made me turn around. The mirrors reflected me back at myself. Calm on the outside, tense underneath. I adjusted my jacket, not because it needed fixing, but because grounding myself felt necessary. I told myself I wasn't there to prove anything. I wasn't there to confront anyone. I was there because I deserved to exist in rooms I once belonged to, even if those rooms had failed me. The doors opened to music, laughter, and the low hum of conversations layered on top of each other. The apartment was beautiful, floor-to-ceiling windows, soft lighting. The city stretched out beneath us like a living backdrop. Everything about the setting screamed success, celebration, moving forward. And yet, my body reacted like it had walked into a threat. I scanned the room instinctively. Groups of coworkers stood clustered together, drinks in hand, smiles fixed just enough to look real. People I used to eat lunch with, people who had texted me, "You got this," before presentations. People who went silent when rumors spread faster than facts. I felt eyes land on me. Then more. Whispers followed, not malicious, but curious. The kind of attention that isn't hostile, just uncomfortable. Like people didn't know whether to apologize, congratulate me for surviving, or pretend nothing ever happened. Then I saw her. Brielle stood near the kitchen island, perfectly positioned in the center of attention. Her laugh rang a little too loud, her gestures just a little too animated. And that's when it hit me. The familiarity. Her hair, her outfit, the posture. It wasn't inspired by me, it was rehearsed. She had my old hairstyle, the one I wore when I was still trying to be palatable at work. Same effortless but not too effortless look. Her outfit mirrored my aesthetic so closely it felt intentional. Neutral tones, fitted but understated, classy enough to look natural, like she had memorized me. As I moved closer, weaving through the crowd, I heard it. "Girl, bye." Laughter. "I know you lying." More laughter. My stomach dropped. Those were my phrases, not just words, my cadence. The way I used humor to soften conversations. The way I navigated rooms without ever trying to dominate them. She was wearing my voice, and people were eating it up. That's when someone noticed me standing there. "Oh my God, Naya!" The reaction rippled. Conversations paused, smiles shifted. A few people rushed over, hugging me a little too tightly, talking a little too fast. Everyone was being polite, overly polite, like kindness was a shield against discomfort. No one mentioned why Brielle was there. No one mentioned why she'd been fired. And no one asked how I'd survived losing my job over lies. They just talked. I grabbed a drink, something light, something grounding, and found a seat slightly away from the noise. I wasn't hiding, but I wasn't performing either. I let people come to me, and they did. "How have you been? You look good. What are you doing now?" The questions were gentle, cautious. I answered honestly without over-explaining. I got my real estate license. Their reactions felt real, proud, encouraging. Someone clapped, someone else asked how long it took, another asked if I liked it. For the first time that night, I felt seen, not pitied, not whispered about, just acknowledged. And then, that's not hard to do. The words floated through the air like smoke, soft, dismissive, calculated. I felt it before I processed it, that sharp pull in my chest, the way my body reacted faster than my mind. The coworker next to me stiffened. "Wait, what?" she said, confused. Silence fell. Not dramatic silence, awkward silence. The kind that makes people suddenly aware where their hands are, where they're standing, whether they should laugh or pretend nothing ever happened. All eyes turned to Brielle. She smiled like she hadn't just thrown a knife. "Oh, no shade," she said quickly. "That's cool and all, but I'm just saying it's really not that hard to do. I mean, if you have the time." Her eyes flicked to me, briefly, deliberately. No one defended her. No one agreed with her, but no one corrected her either. And that told me everything. I felt heat rise up my neck, not embarrassment, but restraint. I knew if I spoke, it wouldn't come out controlled. It would come out honest. And honesty in that moment would have turned the room into a battlefield. So I stood. "Excuse me," I said quietly. I walked away before anyone could stop me. The bathroom door closed behind me, and I leaned against the sink. The bathroom was quieter than I expected. No music, no laughter leaking through the walls, just the low hum of the lights and the sound of my own breathing, uneven and deliberate, like I was trying to talk myself back into my body. I gripped the edge of the sink and stared at my reflection. I looked composed, too composed. That's how I knew something was wrong. Usually, when someone tries me, I feel it immediately. Anger, hurt, embarrassment, something. But this time, there was a strange calm settling over me, the kind that shows up right before your instincts start screaming. I replayed the moment in my head. That's not hard to do. The timing, the tone, the way she smiled after. That wasn't insecurity blurting itself out. That was intentional. A soft knock tapped against the door, breaking my thoughts.
Yeah?
The door opened slowly, and one of my former coworkers stepped inside, Danielle. We'd never been best friends, but we'd always been honest with each other. She closed the door behind her like she didn't want anyone listening. She leaned against the counter and exhaled. "I wasn't sure if I should say anything," she started, eyes flicking toward the mirror, then back to me. "But this has been bothering me for a while." My chest tightened. "Say it." She hesitated, then pulled out her phone. "Have you seen Brielle's social media lately?" I shook my head. "I don't follow her." Danielle unlocked her phone and stepped closer, angling the screen toward me. The first photo hit me like deja vu. Same pose I'd posted weeks ago, same lighting, same caption structure. Not the words exactly, but the voice. Scroll. Another one. Another. Each post felt familiar in a way that made my skin crawl. Not inspired, not similar, mirrored. "She posts after you," Danielle said quietly. "Almost every time." My throat went dry. "Like clockwork," she continued. "You post a quote, she posts something shady but similar. You go quiet for a few days, she floods her page. You post a picture, she posts one in almost the same outfit." I stared at the screen longer than I wanted to. This wasn't coincidence. This was surveillance. I handed the phone back slowly. "How long?" Danielle swallowed. "Before you got fired." That stopped me cold. Before. Which meant all those moments I'd brushed off, the compliments that felt off, the questions that felt invasive, the way Brielle always knew things about me before I said them out loud. None of that had been innocent. "She talked about you. A lot. Even when you weren't around." My jaw tightened. "What would she say?" Danielle's voice dropped. "Depends on the day. Sometimes she'd praise you, sometimes she'd tear you down, but always obsessive." Obsessive. The word echoed in my head. I thought about how Brielle used to sit next to me at work, how she watched me type, how she mimicked my laugh, how she started using my phrases after I did, how flattery had slowly turned into competition. Admiration is quiet. Envy is loud and desperate. A sudden chill ran through me. "I thought she got fired too," I said. Danielle nodded. Yeah, she did, after the company confirmed the content was fake and she made it. So why is she here? I asked. Her expression shifted. That's what everyone's wondering. I glanced at the door, suddenly aware of how small the bathroom felt, how exposed, how public this space really was. Thank you for telling me, I said softly. Danielle nodded. Just be careful, for real. She left me alone again. I splashed cold water on my face, grounding myself, then took a deep breath and unlocked the door. The party noise rushed back in. I stepped out and immediately felt it. Her eyes on me. Brielle stood across the room, phone in hand, pretending to scroll, but I knew that look now. The way she held still just a second too long, the way her gaze flicked up when she thought I wasn't paying attention. Our eyes met. She smiled. Not friendly, not nervous, satisfied. I grabbed my bag and headed for the door. I wasn't staying another second. As I walked past her, she leaned slightly toward me, her voice low enough that only I could hear. You always did have good taste. I stopped, slowly turned my head. There she was, standing close to me. She tilted her head, eyes gleaming. In clothes, in words, in attention. My heart thudded hard against my ribs. Before I could respond, she straightened up and raised her voice, laughing loudly at something someone said nearby, instantly shifting back into performance mode.